And we got bananas in chat from Billman68 and Badger Spanner, Winnie, T, Ford, Tiny, Small, Miyataki, Neo, Shadow, Sunny, The Bosk, Commander Fluffy, Jedaru. Wow, these are moving fast. Tuxaban, Duty 08 20109. I think. It's very hard to read names while they're whizzing off your screen. Peeps. I sort of look like I'm in a predicament, don't I? I'm not. I'm at a farm. What we will do is, before the phantoms spawn, hop in... No! Of course! Of course! Actually, since I'm in the area, we'll wreck these fools. Then we'll sleep in a bed. That is the sound of me trying to clear my voice. I've been trying to clear it for ages. It keeps getting a bit stuffy. So... yeah, if you know the deal, we're at this farm and we're making emerald blocks. And I was doing this because I have sold out all of my emerald blocks. And so I needed to make some more. For the peeps on the server. Who are buying these emerald blocks. They're flying off the shelves, peeps. You know, they were on the shelves, now they're flying off of them. We got noises in the air between streams from Always... Summer Nathan, Nico Buena, Oddity Prodigy, Joe is 20, Taribo 8. Thank you for the in-between stream subscriptions. Also, Sanictus. Jeez, I'm terrible at saying these names, aren't I? And the sound of those pillagers made me shudder. Thank you for your in-between stream support, as always, peeps. You're probably not even here, but I'd like to say thank you anyway. That didn't get them all in one go, did it? No. Okay, the witches got left behind. Just the witches? Very important, it's just the witches. Very good. Very good. That's how it should be. Because they can regenerate their health. And then that means that they can stand there and keep the whole process going. A little bit of delayed damage there. What other materials are we collecting? Bottles? Goodness me. Gunpowder? Goodness me. What about redstone? Oh my goodness me, I need some of these supplies. I think I might go grab... yeah, I think I might... get rid of those. Come on now, we don't need... what? They're rubbish, they are. Ugh, get rid of them. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. We'll go get some shulker boxes and move some supplies back to the base. I think... there was something I wanted to say. Yeah, pre-stream music today was the Beach Boys with the song... is it Here Now? I think it was Here Now. Love that record, Pet Sounds. I need to properly listen to that album again. It's a beautiful, beautiful record. And I highly recommend it to anyone who enjoyed that song you heard at the beginning of the stream. Very, very, very good record. Like, an absolute classic. It's gorgeous. There's so many layers to it. Like, you can always listen to it and just hear little sounds you didn't hear before. Let's catch up with these other noises in the air. We've got Medico2A, resubscribed for 2 months. Dingle Hopper for 3 months. X-Double has subscribed. Badger Spanner for 10 months saying oh hi. And it's Mr. KR4BS. Mr. Krabs. That's what that would say. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support as always. I truly do appreciate it. And let's do this so there's like one in each. So whatever one someone comes and opens, they see some emeralds, you know. It's one of the problems of having lots of droppers. If they're not full, you might look at 3 or 4 of them and think, oh, it's empty. It's not the case. It's not the case. Look, see, there's some over there. Cool. By the way, we're listening to StarCraft music today. Oh, yes, we are. Just going through some soundtracks we haven't listened to in a while. I love this game, StarCraft. Love the music to it. How do you install the Shulkerbox mod? I was having trouble with it requiring other mods, says Gold Ninja. Well, there are several of those mods, and the one that I use doesn't require other mods, so I don't know how to advise you. Have you played the StarCraft cartoon? Nope, I have not heard of that. I will write that on my list of post-stream things to check out. Sounds interesting. I got a Menin villager for 24 emeralds today, and it's for the villager's first trade. It says user Bob. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Getting one first time round. So when we pop back there, we'll throw in an extra one for sale. Oh, I actually had some shulker boxes with me. Now, don't go derp. Don't go, oh, derp. Gee, shut up. I can see it already in chat. Oh, you already had shulker boxes with you, derp. Well, none of you were mentioning it in chat, were you? None of you were mentioning it. I think actually we won't need more than that because we just filled up the bottom lot. You know, I'm kind of new to Hermitcraft. Why do people call you Shishwami Void? Says Blackall. Well, because my name is a made-up name, different people pronounce it in different ways. And Corrales says Shishwami, which I love. I love it. I love it when him and Doc was going Zizuma and Corrales is going Shishwami. Crack me up. Oh, legends. Right, let's chuck that in there. Go get some supplies. Angels Gaming Official says, Asuma, I'm playing Vanilla Survival using the Vanilla Tweaks pack. Ooh, do you know what I should get? I should get like a Vanilla Tweaks splash screen pop-up thing. That is going on the post-stream list of things to do. So then I can just be like, when someone goes, what resource pack are you using? I'll be like, Vanilla Tweaks, go pick the things you want to change. It's a great name as well, isn't it? Vanilla Tweaks. Just very easy to spell and understand. We got more noises in the air. It's Debbie Divas 4501. Subscribe with Amazon Prime. Raya Chiol. Resubscribe for 3 months, saying pronounced Yi Chol. Yi Chol. There we go. And thanks for the entertainment these past few months. No problem. Thank you for watching and being entertained. I do love to know that people are enjoying what we do here. Oh yeah, wait, these are double chests, so actually I needed double the amount of shulker. Well, you know how it goes, right? You know how it goes. We will do our very best. Okay, that one there needs some. Too short? How am I too short? Oh well, we're too short. So what do I want to take? Sugar, gum. Do you know what? I need gunpowder for something I'm about to do later on. So having a couple of shulker boxes with gunpowder in is actually kind of beneficial. Okay, so what do I want to do with these? I'm going to put these two down as well. We've got noises in the air from Maverick Graspy, Omega Lol Ray T. Oh no, it's Amiga Ultra YT. Got it. And Vinegar25, subscribe with Amazon Prime. Thank you for using your Prime subscriptions on me. We got A78 free, RTN free, resubscribing for 2 months in a row. Thank you ever so much for your 2 months of support. Appreciate it. We have The Wicked One subscribing with Amazon Prime. And we've got Sir Thanks a Lot, the one and only. Say it for 38 months. Goodness me. That deserves some 38 months in a row. Jeez. Hey, wait a minute. Did we have like a full double chest of that? Where'd it all go? Hang on. Reds. Ah, I put some in there. Makes total sense now, doesn't it? Glowstone. What other items were there? Yeah, things... Sticks. Things that I'm not so interested in. So glowstone being able to be turned into a light source, we'll bring back with us as well. Aha, we've got one over here. And that's almost all of it. In fact, I think we've filled them all up now, so I'll put those back in. Coolio! We're done with this place. For today, for now. I want to do some more work at the pirate castle. Laying down some sand. Got to go get some though, because I feel like I'm starting to run low. So I figured we'd go to the desert for a little bit, talk about some things that have been going on YouTube. Oaster2000 is here, resubscribing for 10 months, saying, so excited that it's been 10 months. Jeez, looking forward to the next 10, man. Awesome, dude. I mean, exciting times ahead. I am flabbergasted, really, to see that things continue to get, you know, better and bigger for Hermitcraft this far into it. It just makes me so excited for the future. Especially next season. Like, I've done so much stuff this season that I'm looking forward to, as I've talked about my plans for next season, not that it's, you know, coming anytime soon, just looking forward to focusing my efforts on, like, one big centralized project again, because everything has been so split up this season. We go here, we go there, and I can't wait to change up the playstyle, also try and challenge myself and come up with, you know, new ways of doing things and whatnot. So I kind of need to free up a little bit of space here. This is supposed to be like the junk chest of things that need to get sorted. I'm not gonna put you through a bunch of sorting right now, but a little bit will help. Just a little, just a tiny, teeny little bit. A little bit of sorting. That could all go in there. Right, we got noises in the ear from Niked D, subscribing with a regular subscription. So is Rose Dragoon and Catherine95. Thank you ever so much. Queg1 has resubscribed for 9 months. That's a Twitch baby right there. That would have been a crazy noise in the ear. Okay. Let's put these things in here. And then some things to go in the junk chest. I'm going to chuck that up there, chuck that up there. Do I want to keep that on me? Probably not. And we've got room for these things in here. Excellent. But I need one more slot, right? Cool. That'll all get sorted out another time. So, my shovel is fully repaired. We can go collect tons and tons of sand. That's awesome. Let's take a couple of yellow shulker boxes and go take care of that, right? Peeps in chat are requesting me to visit the Hermitland blimp. I've already been there. You'll see it in my next episode of Hermitcraft. We've got a donation here. Noise in the ear from Eric. Thank you ever so much, Eric, for your contribution to the channel. Saying, hey, Shwammy Void. Someone's been watching Corrales. Oh, yes. Thank you for the support, dude. Just doing a bit of mental calculating. Navigating. Mental navigating. What way is the sand biome? Thinking, I can't remember. Oh, yeah. It's that tunnel in the Nether. Oh, yeah, I need to turn left. That's what's going on in my head. It's Mr. Krabs. Thank you for the nice message in chat. Glad to have you as a Hermitcraft viewer. Here we go. Mason mining time. That's the one. That's the one. We got Telrayo, subscribing with Amazon Prime, and Evilist Fool, subscribing with Amazon Prime as well. Thank you for your tremendous support, peeps. We've got noises in the ear. It's Cheers and Bits. Who on earth is throwing bits at me? It's Extraterrestrial Gaming, saying, are you going to buy a Sahara membership? You'll have to watch my episode. I've visited the blimp, you know. Diamonds flowed in that episode, you know. I made... Oh, there's a bed there. I made a lot of diamonds, I spent a lot of diamonds, but you have to wait for it. My next episode is coming out on Monday. I'm hoping to get it finished today, because I've just put a ton of stuff into that episode. Deliberately as well. I kind of want to move straight on to round 2 of Undying. So you would have seen some of the hermits playing Undying in this day? Yesterday. That's the one. Yesterday you would have seen them. Corrales, I think... Who else? Did False put hers up? I can't remember. There were a few. I think 3 went up yesterday, so some more will go up today. You can see people playing the Undying game. And then we're going to move on to round 2, where I renovate all the games. So this area over here is kind of flattish. I think we're going to go in this spot and start ripping out some sand. We also got Aloax, resubscribing for 19 months. Thank you ever so much, Aloax. I appreciate your support. Appreciate it ever so much. 19 months, crazy. Cleo, yes, Cleo played. Yeah, my brain's just drawing a bit of a blank. You know, the days go by fast. I did a lot of stuff yesterday. Python, Cleo, and Corrales. So there's another 6 hermits who have played. And you may see them tomorrow or later in the week, but Monday is when I'm putting out the episode after that, explaining the scores and all sorts. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. Alright, so we got a talking topic for today. We have lots of talking topics all the time in these streams, but I wanted to start off with... I've got some notes as well. I took some notes because I wanted to get some facts down right. Has anyone been following what's been happening with YouTube, YouTube Kids, and the FTC? FTC in the house. Don't know what I'm saying. It's the federal, isn't it? The Federal Trade Commission. It just FTC sounds alright, but it's just one of those organisations. Could you fill us in? Someone says a little bit. No, it's the FCC. Nah, I double checked my sources and it was definitely the FTC. Then again, the internet is terrible. Like, I remember checking something the other day and somehow managed to get it wrong. Oh, Winnie says it's the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. Poe says they collected data on kids and got sued. Yeah. Alright, so let's get into it. The FTC is apparently the Federal Trade Commission. So they have sued YouTube 170 million, which is it's a drop. Whoo, like that kind of drop. It's a drop in the ocean for YouTube. It's not a dent, it's not a big deal. You know, you'd have to sue in billions to really make a big impact. But it's going to bring about huge changes on the YouTube platform, mainly revolving around kids' content. I can't help but feel this is for the best. I really do. Some of you heard me talk about advertising before and know how I feel about that. So you might not be surprised to hear me probably more on the side of the FTC on this one. So the FTC have sued YouTube, but it's for the collection of data around children. And there are a lot of laws to protect children under the age of 13 on the internet, which there so should be. And one of these protects them from having data and information about them collected, which is what YouTube does, and then it uses that information to sell targeted ads. Ads that are directly, targeted at children or particular demographics. This is how YouTube works. This is how people like myself do YouTube for a living, is because there is this incredible infrastructure of highly specific targeting of advertisements to people, and that is, has created a whole industry really around content on this platform because it pays, because of the target advertising. Now when it comes to children, they should be protected, and note that the FTC is actually suing YouTube over the collection of information, not over targeted advertising. But YouTube's response, I think, which is coordinated with the FTC, is to remove targeted advertising from children's content. Now what gets defined as children's content is kind of like a wait and see. There's going to be some very clear-cut cases, like Ryan's Toys is one of them that you may have heard of, like the biggest, basically, I think it's the highest grossing channel on YouTube, and it's one specifically aimed for kids. This kid plays with his toys and they make videos out of it, and children like to watch that on the YouTube Kids platform. Now they mentioned this one channel specifically, but it'll be interesting to see who gets targeted. There are some fearing that games like Minecraft might get targeted because children play it. Although, its audience is clearly diverse across multiple age groups. So, we'll have to wait and see what happens on that one. There are some people getting quite fearful that a lot of Minecraft content creators are going to be hit by this. I'm not too worried. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. I've also heard some information from inside YouTube from a rep that this is not going to be like a everyone's getting demonetized situation. It's going to be more like a voluntary checkbox thing. Like you say, my content is targeted for children. Now when we say targeted for children, the legal age is up to 12. So 13 and over is then not part of this. And you could probably argue that people under the age of 12, even though they don't show you that information, might watch my content, for example. But does that then mean that makes it kids content? Because there's other demographics that watch as well. So there's this whole blurry line that people are starting to discuss and speculate around, and we'll just have to wait and see because we don't actually know right now. Minecraft as a game is too wide, but this is YouTube we're talking about, so who knows, says LGC Idol. Or is it LG Clyde? Reading names fast is tricky. I think the key is their targeting, says Corrupt Mind Creations. Yeah, well, let's get back to that. So, you know, YouTube is collecting data on children to use to hyper-specific, you know, advertising to that demographic. How that changes could be a big deal for advertising. Children's advertising is one of the most lucrative on the platform. But the big thing that the FTC talked about, which I am most pleased with, is they described YouTubers as being a fish in a barrel, right? YouTube is the platform and its channels are basically fish in a barrel, because you can go to YouTube and it's very easy to find violations of these laws. And one of them, which I think the Ryan's channel is kind of visibly guilty of, is doing what they call sponsored content, right? Where a toy company gives them the toys and pays them to make a video, and then they make that for children. Now, I think psychologists have determined that somewhere around the age of 5 to 6 is when children start to learn the difference between what an advert is and what's not an advert. But before that, they can't, and they need to be protected from that, because, you know, if you're living in a world where you can't tell the difference between an advertisement and something that's genuine, that's kind of problematic ethically for various reasons. And so I think the Ryan's Toy channel being specifically mentioned may come into trouble here, because they do a lot of these paid promotions, right? And they comply with the law. I think you see, like, there is like a little disclaimer in the video or in the description box, but the problem is, you know, they might be complying with that side of things. They're advertising it at children, and children are supposed to be protected from this. So I think it's really good that kind of activity might be clamped down on. I've always felt just a bit disgusted when I go look at those channels. You know, whenever you're doing a sort of like explore of YouTube, just kind of curious about what's out there, looking at the size of channels and what content is popular, which I do every now and then, you know, go have a little browse around and see what's going on. And I see channels like that and I'm like, these children don't understand that this is like they are being advertised to. Someone is trying to sell them a product. And I think it would be very good if that kind of activity gets shut down. So I'm not particularly concerned, because it looks to me like whatever kind of changes come, address some of the things that I'm also concerned about. When I'm on this platform, I'm like, you know, these kids shouldn't be advertised to like this, and it looks like the crackdown on that might be coming. So I'm personally quite pleased with it, and if it affects me negatively, it seems like it's going to affect a lot of children positively. So, you know, it's not all bad news, is it? Let's take it from chat now. So that was me just telling you about the story and what I thought about it. Tuxaban says, but X, think about it from the other way. If you watch kids' TV channels, the adverts are for kids. How are they any different? It's the parents that have control. I believe a lot of kids' programming complies with the law, especially over here in the UK. The law might be different in other countries, but over here in the UK, there are some strict laws about specifying what's an advert or not. And I don't really ever recall seeing kids' programming having much advertisement at all, at least when I was a child. But what I do remember is that when you get to the more teenage area, you have stuff like Nickelodeon, right? And all they put on the adverts in between is things like financial, you know, services like loans and credit cards. And clearly they're trying to, you know, get kids while they're young and get them to look at finance as if, oh, I can just get a loan to pay for this thing that I want to do, which is, you know, not a great way to approach managing money. But as far as I'm aware on television, no, you know. Badger says, are you kidding? CITV was full of toy and fast food ads with voucher ads for parents too. Really? Oh, well, you know, I could be out of touch. I'm just going on my own fractured experience of it from when I was young, or when I happened to have, you know, been around kids who are watching TV. I don't really recall seeing a lot of it, but yeah, maybe there is. Maybe it's disgusting and it needs to change. I mean, I really would be against that if that's how it was. Especially advertising fast food to them. Oh, that's just so bad. So bad. What else do peeps in chat have to say about it? We have BBC Kids TV reminder. Oh god, chat is moving so fast I can't read anything. It's just, I picked a message at the bottom and it just whoomp, straight up. They got you as a kid, X, that's why you don't remember, says Footlong Hawk. It's possible, I just remember it differently. The UK definitely has laws. Again, it's straight off the screen. I need a pause button, really. Ryan's toy review is actually quite lawful, unlike other channels on YouTube, says Gamer Tiger. As I said a moment ago, they comply with the whole you have to disclose that it's an advert, right? But the FTC says you can't do that to children. So, I mean, I could have it wrong, but they're complying with one set of laws, but there's another set that are saying, no, you can't do that because it's children's content, right? That's the way I've understood it from what I've been reading and hearing about it. It's not just ads though, companies manufacturing trends is potentially even more dangerous. Yeah, companies have tried to do stuff like that since forever, right? They try and create products and then get them in the hands of trend makers, and that's like an incredibly direct thing now with influencers on YouTube. Absolutely. Jessica says, have you heard the Demon Headmaster is getting a remake? I haven't, but I did watch that show a bit when I was a kid, and I don't think it terribly excites me. I remember the books being better than the show on television. I think YouTube should allow people under 13 to get a YouTube account with parents' supervision and then block comment sections and advertising only for people with accounts below the age of 13 years old. Sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? That you have a sort of kids account and then it restricts you from being exposed to certain types of content or behavior on the platform. But I got a feeling having a kids account is part of the problem. Like, isn't that part of the data collection problem? That you're not supposed to know that they're kids online or something like that? It's peculiar to say the least. And there's a lot of stuff that we don't know. This is quite typical of the internet age. Is, you know, we all have reactions to things, and then we kind of eventually realise, or maybe we don't eventually realise, that we kind of don't know a lot about this stuff that we're talking about, right? Like, I've tried to be informed. I've tried to go out there and get my news sources from multiple places, and I took some notes down as well. But then when I come here, there's people going like, "Oh no, that's not how it is." For example, the whole like advertising the children thing. I've watched some YouTube mini documentaries about that kind of stuff back when there was a lot of scare around YouTubers not properly disclosing advertising, and as I understood it, over here in the UK, you don't advertise to children like that, but apparently it's not so. Right. Oh yeah, they wouldn't go in there, would they? Right, I think we're done here, getting some sound. I think we're done with this topic for today. Alright, so let's catch up with the noises in the ear. So, Tonkylicious has subscribed for 8 months. I love that name right there. Thank you ever so much, Tonkylicious. Appreciate it. We got Liquid Block resubscribing for 4 months. Thank you ever so much, Liquid Block. We got Gerald97 subscribing with Amazon Prime. Gerald, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. I like that name. And Jay Lava is here for donation, saying, hey, Shishwami Void, this is my first ever donation. Glad to see your socials keep on growing. And good luck for the future. Much love. Thank you ever so much, Jay Lava. I appreciate your support and your contribution. say morning. By the way, peeps, they don't have a cup of tea. I already had one before I started streaming. Went for a cycle this morning. It was a good one. It was a bit cold, but I kept my cadence up, kept pushing myself. The end was quite difficult because I had to go up some hills, and I think it really zonked my legs out. But another good Sunday morning cycle. I really want to get into cycling. I keep looking at road bikes and maybe upgrading some of the gear I've got, and I'm just finding it a little bit hard to kind of develop my current like cycling ability, let's say. You know, I'm oh, which way is it from here? Back to base? Although we're not sort of going to base, we can just go straight to our next project, I guess. So this way, I think. I love tour videos, and I sign into Twitch to see your stream, says Watergame. If you like tour videos, on the second channel, I recently just put up a impromptu tour video of me playing here on Hermitcraft, doing a little tour of the world. If you want a brief sort of what's going on kind of video. So yeah, that's on my second channel. Also, I've started a new channel. In the title of the stream, you'll see that there is a command you can type into chat. It is !new chan. That'll give you a link to my new channel. It is clips from these live streams where we talk about things and whatnot. And yeah. What's the other thing? Hit the follow button. That's what I always say. Hit that follow button if you ain't done so already. Right, there you go. There's my good streamer reminders right there. Let's find our way to our project. That portal right there. We've got a noise in here from Crazy Eyes Reaper. Bean, Cheese, Melt, subscribing with the Amazon Prime. We got Extraterrestrial Gaming doing cheers, throwing bits, saying, how long do you think you'll do YouTube and your videos? Have helped me a lot in my survival world. I could honestly see myself doing this for another 5 years if it keeps up. It's a tremendous amount of fun playing the one game that, you know, never gets old. It's like a second life. It's like another world that you go live in and forge and create things and turn it into your own. It's endless. There's just endless stuff you can do in this game. So I could see myself happily doing this. I enjoy it ever so much. Streaming is wonderful. Making videos is fun. It might change, it might morph a little bit, some of the content might go this way or that way, who knows, but one thing's for sure, I am definitely very happy creating this kind of content for all of you. I should have filled that up as well, right? Let's just make sure that one's full to the brim. Put it back in here, and then we're going to need some of these for texture variations. So we've got our smooths, we want some... We actually kind of want a whole bunch more smooth stuff. Let's get out a couple of our backpacks and some fuel. I call them backpacks. I've now migrated everything into the ender chest there. Alright. We got, by the way, Extraterrestrial Gaming, thank you for the cheers and bits. We got Azarka78 resubscribing for 23 months. And the Viking Dane has resubscribed. And Shawnee YX is here resubscribing for 7 months, saying, yay, 7 months, I'm almost a baby. Thank you ever so much. Appreciate your support. We also got Badger Spammer gifting a sub to the Jaffa Thief 12. Thank you ever so much, Badger and the Jaffa Thief, for tuning in. Appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the community, Badger, as always. Thanks, X, for the noise in the background as I build a nether tunnel, says Jakey Boy. I am happy to be your noise in the background. Let's take that stuff there. 123 100 is here resubscribing for 7 months. Thank you so much for your 7 months of support, dude. I appreciate it. Blast furnaces, says Bookfighter. Not for sandstone, I don't think. Don't think it works that way. Not for the sandstone. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to do a whole bunch of this right now. Let's get this going. Oh yeah, got to put in fuel as well. You know, fuel is important. Can't neglect that fuel. Otherwise, nothing ain't going to happen. Nothing ain't going to happen. Is that a double negative? Right, we need a few more of these. Sweet. There we go. Let's throw away the junk. Junk in the trunk. And nighttime approaches. Let's get a bed over here. Look at all the preparation work we have to do, eh, peeps? That don't sound like a... That don't sound like a double negative, says Badger. Jeez, you almost got me there. Hey OX, in your opinion, what are the ways to help improve inventory management, says Wild Max Plays. Well, you've got to have a good mental strategy if we're talking like playing like I'm playing. If you're talking what could Mojang do, geez, I could write him a document, a list. I got suggestions. I so hope they address it at some point. I mean, maybe for the average casual player and when the game's like very fresh, maybe you're not really thinking about it that much, but I tell you, as a seasoned player, I just so experienced this feeling of like, you know, I'm trying to do something, yet I'm spending more time sorting my inventory out, time and time again. I mean, when you get into a flow and you start doing the thing you need to do, it's not so bad, but it's just the getting there bit. It just seems to take forever sometimes. Okay, so we need some sandstone stairs. Kabooey. Apparently already had some. Got the slabs. Now we need smooth slabs and smooth stairs. And some smooth chairs. Oh. Did I read this one out? A noise in the ear from Mickey's Gun, 7 months, saying, Hi X, almost a baby. P.S. I am also really enjoying the new Asuma Talks channel. Glad you're enjoying it. There'll be more content going out there soon, I am sure. You know, last stream we had some cool talky bits, and then I realised I derped and I didn't record any of it. Oh, typical. Typical. Yeah, can't sweat it, don't worry about it. I gotta say though, with the new channel, it's like another set of responsibilities, and I really need to like hand, which I'm gonna work on with Adam, is like handing more of it over to him, making it more of his project, to kind of decide with some coordination like when things go out, because Adam might be listening to this right now, I don't know. But what I've noticed now is it's another layer of thought that I keep going to, like in my head. I keep like, you know, going over things that I want to do and need doing, and I really need to just focus on having fun in these live streams and letting that channel be run by someone else. I think that's the best way to do it, because otherwise, I don't know, yeah, just another, when I say like another layer of thought, I'm thinking from a kind of like peaceful mind perspective, right? Like always juggling these thoughts in the mind. Oh, I've got to do this, oh, I've got to do that, going back and forth. And I need more peace. I need more peace in that area. I can tell. I pay attention to myself. I can notice when like a little bit of, oh, I need to do this, and oh, I need to do that. All of a sudden becomes a bit more like anxiety than it is just thinking about things I need to do, right? It becomes pressure. And I put that pressure on myself, and I need to just pay attention to when that's healthy and when it's not, really. So with the Asuma Says channel, I'm, you know, hoping to kind of have that sort of someone else's domain, you know, to worry about. X, do you like the new channel? I like it so far. I mean, it's, you know, it's got a ways to go. Oh, am I missing? Yeah, I never made... Wait, I could have swore I made smooth slabs. Oh, no, put them back in there. What a derp. Yeah, because sometimes it's going to go like that, right? That'll do. Let's fill this bit in here. So if you're wondering what we're doing, by the way, we are transforming... Oh, that can't go there. Transforming a large part of terrain. This is the pirate island. And for the most part, it's going to be very piratey and have lots of sand. Because we associate sand with pirates. At least I do. Which you might argue with, because you might associate water with them more. It's a funny topic. You might not associate castles with pirates either. When I look at that now, I do feel like these structures are great and there should be more in that direction, which we'll have room for. Maybe we could even throw down some blueprints and just follow our nose a little bit with that idea. I think we'll set a bit more of a goal. We're going to try and get this sand going all the way over from this side to the other side. That's my objective for today. You know, Anyway. What do y'all want to talk about in chat, peeps? Let me know. Hex, I'm making a villager farm and I'm having trouble getting them to drop the carrot for as long as enough time. Do you have some? Not quite sure what you mean by that. I don't do a lot of stuff with villagers, so nothing immediate has come into mind. Failed Productions DK is here doing cheers, throwing bits, saying finally caught a stream live. I am usually asleep when you stream. Happy it finally happened. Working with Americans as European is hard for the sleeping schedule. Ah, I get ya. Yeah, working working with people in different time zones. Yeah, well, I stream in the morning on the weekends, so now you know. That's the end of that tidbit, isn't it? That's what I do. This is actually all going to get filled in, isn't it? By like sand like this, so it kind of gives us a lot of area to put in some smooth bits and some rough bits as well. This will look good, I reckon. Any TV shows or movie you've seen recently, says Golden Ninja. I've been watching The Terror, but I think I'll talk about that when I finish watching it, because it's very interesting, and there's historical stuff to go with it as well. What texture pack do you use, X? Says one Buxton. I use Vanilla Tweaks. You should go look it up, it's amazing. Vanilla Tweaks generates a ton of traffic every day. It gets like 6,000 visitors every single day, which is kind of incredible. There goes the hero of the villager effect, says Plagiatus. Ah, yes, we would have had that for a while. And now it's gone, apparently. Oh, do you know what's also good for little flat areas like this? Is a little bit of height variation. Just the occasional bit that gets, like, kicked up. Is the way Iskal taught it to me. More sand, please. More sand. Still got loads left. You should hide glowstone, says Arkshrab. I'm not going to put glowstone in this build and light it up at all. Too grindy. We again, really would love some options to stop the mob spawning, you know, but having to put a grid of hidden light sources on something like this is just tedious. So tedious. So very, very tedious. We've got a big flat bit coming along up here, haven't we? Hey, you moved the desert that all the hermits used. I mean, I didn't move the desert. The desert's still there. I'm just whoa, that was loud. Just bringing about some desertiness over here. Sweeney Dunstan MC is here, resubscribing for 19 months, saying 19 months and going. Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate the support. Incredible. Thank you again. Shona Jordan says, just joined. What is this area? It's the Pirate Castle project. You know, because pirates and castles, two things that apparently go together. Hey, it's Minecraft. I get to do what I want. And we're just bringing the sand from far, far away over to here. That one there won't work. Reverse Wasteland, says Arzminty. Yeah, well, just making it a desert again. Yeah, it's a reverse wasteland. I like it. I like it very much. Makes a lot of sense. Let's get a couple of smooth bits just over there. That'll do. Beautiful stuff. Right, and then lots of flatness over here. This is going to be a structure, so we won't build this up too much. And I don't know... Yeah, I don't know what the plan for this is, really. I could blend... Nah, blending the two don't make sense. I think this is going to end up being another tower linked to that with a flag on it. I think that makes the most sense. And, you know, there's not a lot, like, of this area getting used, so maybe we'll build more towers and stuff as time goes by. One thing I know, I love this project. It's so good to get back to it. My client encountered a bug. The game won't launch. Lucky to have caught the stream, says Kiko Khan. Yeah, I can't help you with that. I don't really know what the bug is, but I mean, it happens, doesn't it, unfortunately. Hey X, will you be playing and recording Doom Eternal for your second channel, says Sonny the Boss. Yep, that is something I plan on doing, for sure. Yeah, let's add a bit of a, like, ooh, my brain just ticked over with something then, like, features. What we haven't done is, like, developed features. Okay, I was thinking, you know, let's use a bunch of slabs there so we've got a bit more of a gradient, make that interesting. We'll do it again over here. Makes this bit of terrain just a little bit different. Maybe we'll get a little bit excessive with the slabs in a couple of spots, but that can help really shake things up a little bit. But features is how we need to think, isn't it? Need to think in terms of what can we throw. Like little trees would make sense. We'll probably build lots of those as we go around. But details, things that come into the area that shape it up a little bit. Will you go check out Area 77 after this, says Fusion. Probably not. I'm just going to focus on the projects that I want to do, and yeah, not going to go poking around at other people's stuff on a stream, really. Corrales thought it was Isgal's castle because of the Swedish flag, as he said it. Ah, that explains... I had a comment from someone saying, like, why has your castle got the Swedish flag on it? And I thought, do you know that that's not a Swedish flag? Swedish flag is blue and yellow. What's going on here, I was thinking. So maybe they were just referencing Corrales or something like that. Get a few more of those together. Sweet. We need some more sands. Sand. Loads of that. What are you making, says Race Mouse? I'm making a desert, dude. A desert. For real. For realsy. There we go. Right, let's focus on this big bit up here. What's your favourite build so far, says Trav? Of my own, probably my base and Tower Bay. Who knows? There's lots of stuff on this server, right? Little divots like that are actually pretty good. Should probably throw in a few of those every now and then, just because we can. Okay, I'm just going to do that to hide that a little bit. And we'll fill that in like so. That can be all slabs. Ooh, this will start to go down here and connect with that at some point. I think I might leave that because the castle's got like a weird wall system where the wall here just kind of ends, and it should probably come back round up to here, but it doesn't actually link up with anything. So there might be like a secondary gate that we build at some point. Anyway, let's sort of map out where this is going to go. We'll go all the way across here. Not going to go too close to that mound. I'll probably shave this down a little bit, and we want it to go and connect with that over there. Shave down this bit here. Oh yeah, and there's a big hole to fill up as well. Spooky music, says Dawson Banter. Well, we're listening to the StarCraft soundtrack, and that game is amazing and the music is wonderful. Always gives me really good vibes, probably just from, like, you know, being a kid and spending hours sucked into some weird computer game. You know how it is. Just gives you those feel-good vibes. In the weirdest of ways, considering it's spooky music. What do you think about PewDiePie playing Minecraft, says Smix Live. I think it's great. Glad he's enjoying it. Is carpet rail tubing considered cheating on Hermitcraft, says Trojan Manor. I mean, it's supposed to be considered cheating, but some people do it anyway. So who knows? Hey X, I want to start watching your Hermitcraft series, but there are a lot of episodes, and I feel like I'd be confused if I start watching from the most recent episode. Any advice? Says Marku. Just start with the beginning of Season 6. There's a playlist for it. I know there's 100 episodes, but if you start at the beginning of Season 6 and just make your way through it steadily whenever you got time. There's loads of great content there, and you can see how the the server evolves to where it is to today. Okay, this area is getting quite flat now. Let's put a little bit of this in, and maybe oh, how'd that change to a stair? It's my mouse wheel. I've got a terrible mouse wheel. It's just slightly, when you use it, it might flick over a moment later to the next thing. It's so annoying. The amount of times I accidentally just like place the wrong block because the mouse wheel's just flicked. It's irritating. Let's put some smooth textures down here as well. So, Asuma, do you think the confrontation between the hippies and Area 77 will grow larger? Any thoughts of another war in your eyes? I don't know, man. I'm not a part of any of that. It is what it is so far. Yeah, that's looking real good around here. Real good. Pace Amiga is here subscribing with Amazon Prime. Pace Amiga, thank you ever so much for your Prime subscription. I appreciate that. Hope you're entertained. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Doc says you're the president of Area 77. Is this true? Says Isaac Paddy. I've never heard him say that. Also, recommend someone lowers their chance of being added. What? Oh, you're talking about people requesting hermits or something. Yeah, I think I know what you mean. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't set a good tone, but I've tried to explain that a gazillion times, and people always turn up going, add this person to Hermitcraft, add that person to Hermitcraft, and it's just like, after a while I get bored of explaining it. You just got to imagine that it's your own group, right? Your own group. You're not going to want people pestering you to add people all the time. You know? It's just not particularly fun. Okay, I think we're almost done with the sand placing here. We'll fly around and look at it. You know, it doesn't take too long to do a lot, does it? And we'll do this little patch here, and then we kind of covered, you know, an important area around this side of the build as we develop the inside of it. And that's what we were looking to do, I guess. Right, let's go get some more stairs and then we can finish this off. Raise a glass to the mods for keeping up with this horde, says Walker Wick. Raise a glass indeed. Let's go have a look. Oh my goodness me. 1,700 peeps have tuned in today. Oh, the pressure is on. The pressure is on. Be sure to hit the follow button here on Twitch, peeps. Be kind on our mods in chat. They have a busy day for them today. You're giving them a lot to do. Raises coffee, says Jessica. Oh, I could do with a coffee. I've let myself had a few too many recently, and now I'm getting like cravings all the time for coffee. But I'm actually gonna when I get back into working out, which I'm sort of slowly getting into it. I think I might like try supplementing coffee. It's one of the things caffeine, I constantly hear about is that it helps your workouts because it stimulates you. As I've said before though, right? Doesn't actually give you more energy. It's one thing to be concerned about. But yeah, I might let myself drink coffee a couple of times in the week if it's before a workout, you know? Which I'll certainly enjoy. Oh, good stuff. What was the other thing I was going to say a moment ago? Yeah, to all of you tuned in watching, I have started a new channel on YouTube. The title of this stream is a command that you can type into chat, ! new chan. If you want to check it out, just type that in, you'll get a link. It's called Asuma Says, and it's clips from these live streams themselves about stuff that we talk about here, I guess. Right? Little clips when we talk about this and we talk about that. Speaking of talking about things, you know, I like the waffle. Someone give me a topic. I like a good waffle. Oh, I'm having waffles later today. Oh, food moment. Goat Unicorn says, X, were you surprised when Corrales wanted to read you on Hermitcraft? I was just happy. I was just over the moon. I was like, Corrales, yes, come back to us. We've missed you. So good to have Corrales back. Me and him are going to work on a project. I had an idea. Oh my goodness me, I had this idea earlier today. I've forgotten what it was. I should have written it down. But yeah, me and Corrales are going to work on something together. And I just had a really good idea earlier today, but it sort of passed my mind. It'll come back to me. Why Corrales call you so weird? Says GMac Bye. He's just Corrales, man. He says how he wants to say things. Okay. Do we have sand? Oh yeah, it's smooth sandstone. So get rid of all of that. Plenty of space for both, right? And more things as well. This is a very unorganised sandstone chest, but that's fine. Oh, we got noises in the air. It's Failed Productions DK saying, do you think you would still play Minecraft if you didn't make videos? Doubtedly, I could play any game almost every day for years and years, to be honest. Failed Production, great question. The answer is probably not, to be completely frank. You know, I've well and truly done many things you can do in Minecraft, and I'm more than happy to keep playing. But if it wasn't for YouTube and making videos, I could certainly still stream it. But let's say we lump all of those into the same category. I probably wouldn't. However, now that I mentioned streaming, I would probably love streaming Minecraft still. Like, if like we take away the whole YouTube factor and it's no longer my job to do this, I'm going to go out, I'm going to get another job, and I'll probably end up moving on from this, right? But one thing I would love to do is stream. Actually, now that I say it, like, when I say it out loud, it sort of sounds alright, but I think I would really miss making videos in a way. I'll probably still do it, just obviously I wouldn't be able to do it as a full-time job. Yeah. I don't know, and then not being able to play Minecraft as a full-time job would make it difficult to get things done, and then that would probably be quite demotivating. Very difficult. Very difficult to think about, actually. There's elements of yes, there's elements of no. I need a beacon over here, don't I? Wait, didn't I leave the beacon chest in my inventory? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I had a feeling I'd need a beacon. Oh, let's go get a beacon then. Yeesh. What a silly goose. What would your job be if it wasn't YouTube, says Real Patrick? I don't know. I can't answer that question. I mean, I like the idea of being able to be self-employed again, right? But I just really can't, like, never have an idea that consumes me, that like makes sense, where it's like, this is what I could do. Like, the whole Asuma Says channel is me trying to create a bit of a platform to potentially do something in the future. Take something that I'm currently doing, use it to churn out content on YouTube and build an audience, and one day maybe I want to start doing edutainment or sharing thoughts and opinions. Very likely that after this Minecraft thing, you know, winds down, which it will have to do one day. It'd be pretty bizarre if it just kept growing, but who knows what happened. You know, set myself up a platform for the future where I can do something different. And that's about the one thing I can see myself doing, is something kind of like podcasty, talky, thoughts and opinions, considered opinions, you know. If you've heard me talk about my opinions before and stuff, you'll probably get the impression that I'm a much more considered, you know, like I try and listen to all sides of an argument, try and not let emotions sort of dictate things, and I'd like to think that I'm quite rational and reasonable with that stuff, and that's something that I'd like to spread. I think we need less of this divided, backs against the walls, us versus them attitude, some more coming together, some more seeing that people see the world different and we need to learn from one another. And I genuinely feel like by sharing opinions and doing that, I would be very comfortable with that as a message. as opposed to perhaps, like, let's say I went in the news direction, right, telling news stories. I know I totally wouldn't be comfortable with that because, like, I'm not a journalist, and there's a lot of work and care that needs to be put into gathering information like that and presenting it to other people. I don't think I can do that myself or see myself doing it, but sharing the more kind of, like, let's say, wisdom-y side of things, air quotes, of, you know, treat each other with respect and bringing across those kind of messages, I'd be very comfortable with. So, you know, that's like a way I could happily move forward with what I'm doing. I'm going to put the beacon here, and then I'm going to put it here so that I go, oh, I'll put a beacon here, because then that means the next thing I'm going to do is come up with a design for what's going to go here. But if I don't put the beacon there, peeps, if I don't put the beacon here, I'm never going to come up with a design for this tower, am I? So this is the perfect place to put a beacon before you start telling me I'm a goofball, okay? Alright, so, you know, later on I'll be going, oh, this beacon's in the way, and it'll be a good thing. It'll be a good thing. Asuma, are you health conscious? So what is your views on vaping for adults? Okay, vaping, from what I've learned and understood, again, I always like to say that because it just depends on where I get my information from, right? I made a video about the Amazon on the Asuma Says channel. I thought it was reasonable, the information that I got, and I read through the comments and found some people sharing vastly different information. But the reality is, they're all just these websites that seem like credible news sources, and they're all just giving you different information. It's all very difficult and time-consuming to discern which is truthful or not. But anyway, of the things that I've heard about vaping, vaping seems to be not particularly healthy, but not terribly well researched either. I mean, we've got an absolute arsenal of research on why smoking is bad, right? Vaping, not so much. And there's some that suggest it's good, but generally when they're saying it's good, they're saying it's a good alternative to smoking. And good and bad are, you know, words that kind of pivot around points that can move about on a scale. If you are a smoker, smoking a lot, and you downgrade to vaping, let's say, chances are that's probably a good decision, but not as good as quitting completely, is it? So, of what I've learned of vaping, it's kind of not terribly well researched in the long term, but in the short term, the effects are clearly better than smoking if you were to choose between doing one or the other. So, the thing is, though, you are inhaling water vapor into your lungs with other chemicals inside of it, flavoring, nicotine, and that is just not good. That's just not a natural thing that you're supposed to do. How bad it is, I've seen just so many different opinions on how bad it is. Some people think, mainly people in the vaping community, downplay how negative it could be, and people outside of it tend to, you know, speak of it quite critically, this activity of inhaling vapors into your lung. But I think the one thing we should be able to agree on is that it's clearly a negative from not doing it, and as a tool for helping you quit smoking and get off of it, it's really good. But then again, it's also becoming something that people pick up, especially young people, before they even smoke. I say before they smoke, you know, we don't want them to smoke, but that I think is really negative, that you would pick up such a bad habit like vaping, when it should be used probably medicinally to get you off of smoking. Now, I'm not trying to, like, infringe on anyone's right to do what they want with their body and say you should or you shouldn't vape. I'm just looking at it from a sort of broad outside perspective, that people are picking this up as a thing. You know, it's like taking up smoking. They're taking up vaping, and I think that's really bad. I think vaping could be great as a tool to get you off of smoking, and that if you turn to vapors, you should have a strategy to eventually get off of the vapors as well. But yeah, the fact that kids are picking it up and it's been marketed to children, and when I say children, like, quite stories of quite young people vaping, you know, under 12 I've heard of, although Sometimes things get exaggerated. All the flavorings and stuff kind of aim at kids as well, and that stuff's finally starting to get caught up through legislation. I've heard a few stories coming through of states in the states, individual states, starting to outlaw certain flavors of vaping, and basically you're not allowed to advertise them because kids are picking them up. They're treating them like candies, you know. Under 12 question mark, says Nonstop B. Yes, I watched a thing because you know me, I watch lots of stuff and then I can't really particularly tell you where it comes from. Maybe in the future, as we develop this Assumer Says thing, I'll start to keep note of some sources of information. Might be a good idea. But I watched some stuff on vaping and they were talking about high schoolers vaping, and then they said even people below high school have been known to vape. Now, if that's, you know, like the 1 or 2 stories getting blown out of proportion, or if it's an actual trend that's happening, it's certainly alarming. But in high school, they're certainly popular to do vaping, and that's kind of not good. My friend is 11 and he vapes, says Streamer. I think everyone here can agree that is alarming. You know, if that was smoking, we'd be outraged, but because vaping is kind of new, we're not entirely sure what to think of it, it seems. Let's take it from the chat. Haley Bailey says, I've seen under 12 smoke cigarettes, to be honest, so I'm not surprised. Yep, very good point, actually. I can certainly think of seeing people under the age of 12 smoking. Badger says, my mum started smoking when she was 11. So yeah, I think it's just think of it how we know that young people have smoked. We've all heard the stories. You know, everyone's probably watched interviews with people. I can't think of anyone specifically, but I've definitely seen, you know, maybe actors or rock stars in an interview talking about smoking at a young age. Was it Corey Taylor I heard recently talking about smoking at 10? Something like that. So we know those stories are out there. Maybe it's a small percentage, but we know that there are kids smoking at that age. So surely there's going to be kids vaping as well. The amount of kids I get asking me to buy smokes is alarming, says Double Moses. Smoking in general is on the decline, which is a really good thing. Let's throw down some torches. Asuma, have you heard of the power metal band Glory Hammer? Let's keep it on vaping. I wanna hear some vaping opinions from all of y'all then. How do we go through a generation of smoking, realise it's absolutely horrible, and then start inhaling more stuff? Did you learn nothing at all, says Pig Puncher. Have you heard the phrase that history repeats itself? You know, that's a really good phrase, because I don't think it repeats itself in exacts, but things happen over and over again. There's always been trends of people doing things that are harmful to themselves, and I think it's just the way, as technology grows and as we take control of our own environment, we do these things that are non-natural without really exploring the consequences of them, because they're not immediate. No one experiments with trends of jumping off of cliffs because the consequences are immediate, but when we can't see the consequences and they're invisible, unfortunately we tend to make the same mistakes over and over again, hence history repeats itself. So in a way it's kind of not that surprising that something like this could happen. Jessica says, I used to smoke. It was incredibly hard to quit. Vaping was the only thing to stop me. And then that went off the screen. Jeez. Jeez, so difficult. I need a pause button for this. Some guy got a collapsed lung from vaping? Wow, that's horrific. The ads on YouTube about vaping are annoying because most of them are poorly researched, says Kafton. Yeah, I mean, if they're pro-vaping, like I really do think it's hard to be pro-vape because the long-term research isn't there and the short-term research is saying not as bad as smoking, as opposed to, yeah, this is fine, go ahead and do it. You know, it's clearly not. You're inhaling water vapors. Your lungs weren't evolved for that. It wasn't evolved at all. The recent deaths from vaping in the news was from some really dodgy additives being added that shouldn't be inhaled, like vitamin A, which is oil-based. That makes sense, yeah, that if someone's died from vaping, they were doing an extreme form of it. I guess you can put different ingredients in, right? And change the contents, and that can have different effects. Ooh, yeah, that's gonna. I'm just gonna bring those all down. That's dumb reasoning, Asuma. Your lungs already contain water vaping, says Chauvinus. Maybe they do naturally contain some, but those scientists are saying that we shouldn't be adding more to the mix. I don't think that's dumb reasoning. There's not a lot of, like, things that you can do where you rebalance what was prevalent in nature and then get away with, right? It kind of makes sense that if you're gonna chuck extra stuff into your body, there might be some consequences there. Right, let's put some stairs at the bottom here, like that, and then put the wall behind it. Okay, yeah, that's gonna work. Anyway, to sort of wrap up this segment on vaping, what I would say to anyone who does vape, even smokes, we know smoking's bad. As for vaping, why take the risk? Why take that risk? Ask yourself. You know, I can understand that vaping can be pleasurable, but when pleasure derives from little activities to feed that kind of dopamine rush at that level, that's not a particularly long-term strategy for reward, is it? You know, your own personal health is a long-term strategy for reward, because you can enjoy that for a long time. It can help you live long, and you know, I think risking it at a young age, or at any age really, it's not a great strategy. Vaping is healthy. Please explain why sending any other than air into your lungs is healthy, says Soam. I don't know who said vaping is healthy, but it's not. It's just less damaging than smoking. Honestly, I feel like vaping could be more dangerous than smoking, says Gus. In the long term, it might be. We don't know. We really don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But why risk it? Like I said a moment ago, why take that risk? Why be part of such an experiment? Lego says even inhaling won't be healthy in a few years. Depends what you're inhaling. Are you inhaling fumes? Inhaling fumes has never been seen as a good thing as far as I know. Right, let's how am I going to do this bit here? Doesn't look leveled up right, does it? So that should be like that. Aha, and these should be smaller ones. Okay, that actually kind of looks alright now. I feel like we've got this leveled out. And then our path can go through here, and maybe we'll build a little shop in that space, who knows, but that's that bit all done. Okay. Right, we've got noises in the ear. A donation here from Mr. Bear saying, "Hey X, are you a fan of My Chemical Romance?" I am not a fan, but I'm not a hater either. I've just never really listened to them. If you were to put on some songs for me now, I'd probably go, that's alright, I can listen to that, even if it's not my cup of tea. There was a time when I was a diehard, ignorant metalhead, part of like the hate against My Chemical Romance. They're going to destroy music, that kind of stuff, right? All of that stupid nonsense. And I remember at Download Festival 2007, they were headlining, and there was a lot of hate in the metal community towards them, and people didn't want them to headline, which is all just silly. I was a part of that then, like I said, as an ignoramus, but after Korn finished playing on the tent, we had an army of metalheads marching around to the side of the stage where My Chemical Romance were playing, and thank goodness the organisers of Download Festival were smart enough to go, there's going to be a problem here, And so they went ahead and ended My Chemical Romance's set earlier than advertised. And when I was walking around in this crowd, there was a proper mob mentality. People were picking up bottles and getting ready to throw it at like My Chemical Romance fans, which was just disgusting behaviour. And I wasn't, you know, participating on that level, but I was certainly in the crowd, like, eager to see what was about to happen. And I'm glad that nothing happened, because now I'd probably look back at it and go, yeah, that's pretty sad and pathetic. But yeah, that's what like elitism in music does. And I'm not a fan of elitism anymore. And it was just the other day I was actually watching a mini documentary about My Chemical Romance and their impact on music. And I thought, even though like this isn't a band that's ever appealed to me much, like I really like learning about bands from people that like them and understanding what the impact was for them. And so, yeah, I got nothing but like respect for a band that goes out there and does their thing, you know? No hate. Tribalism exists in every walk of life, says Badger Spanner. It does, tribalism. We need to get away from that, right? As a death metal lover, I absolutely love MCR, says Delivery Girl. That's awesome. And, you know, like the trick there is just in learning to like what music's about. You figured out what death metal's about, you can enjoy that whenever it's on, and you figured out what My Chemical Romance are about. Maybe I'll get to a spot where I do that. Emo's just, I think I'm always just going to be a bit like, can't be bothered with that when it comes to emo sort of music. Just because I've still got a bit of that like lingering in me and it doesn't particularly appeal to me, but I don't really hate it or anything. But I always do wonder, will I ever go down the emo road and just start like checking out what all these bands are about, you know? That are around when like new metal and stuff was happening and I didn't like, but could probably tolerate now, you know? It's certainly not on my plans, but maybe one day I might go down that rabbit hole and try and get into it. Who knows? Certainly some of the early emo stuff is quite interesting, and some of the like proto-emo stuff. Because emo stems a little bit from gothic and post-hardcore, and some of that stuff like I really do like. So who knows? One day maybe I'll find my way into listening to some of that era of music. Been following you for so long. This is the first time catching your stream, says King Lord. Welcome, King Lord. Glad to have you with us for today. The singing style in emo, I just can't stand, says Jessica. Yeah, that would probably be my main gripe as well, right? That sort of scratchy voiced scream. Never quite did it for me. And as a fan of screams, like, if a scream ain't working for me, there's a good chance that's going to be difficult to get into. We got noises in the ear from Bada Bing, subscribing with Amazon Prime. Square Flare 54, subscribing with the Prime. Ed is here with a donation saying people got expelled from my school for vaping. Year 7. Don't know how I feel about that. I feel like whenever I hear of like expulsion, it makes me instinctively think of, was there an attempt to like educate beforehand? As this happens out of the blue, are these people given a chance? Without any more context to that story, I couldn't really comment on it, but I'd certainly prefer the idea of people having the opportunity to learn and whatnot before being expelled? Something or other from school. I've only listened to one metal band, and that's Korn, says Biohazard. Well, there's a band called Biohazard that are pretty cool. Korn are incredible. Korn are such an amazing band. Love Korn. And they've got a new album coming out, like, literally in a week. Ooh, looking forward to that. Okay, so then we have that there and this here. So I've dug out more than I needed to, but that's fine. I've just decided to make this shape here and be like, that's how we're going to roll. You know, building some shop fronts. Ed, thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate it. JL Funk is here, resubscribing for 8 months, saying, hey X, hope you have a nice stream and a great day. Just joined the stream, so what tea are you drinking? And forgotten to sip it again. JL Funk, thank you for your 8 months of support. I'm going to drink some water. I don't have a tea because I had one before I streamed today. Padanox says, have you heard Slipknot's new album? Much better than the latest stuff. More like their origins. I have heard it. and I really love it. And I've listened to it post doing my music blog thing. So usually when I'm done with a record, I write a blog on it and then kind of move on. But there are records that I then want to kind of like come back to over and over again. And I've done some running to that record, and like every time I put it on, I totally get into it, and I think it's fantastic. So if you want to read about it and any other records, my music blog, which you can find on the Googles by searching for Asuma Music Blog of all things, yeah, you'll find some of my thoughts and opinions on that record, which I really do like. And yes, it's definitely got hints of Iowa in there, strong hints of Iowa. Not so much the first record, but Iowa. And I'm a huge fan of the first record. To me, like, the best Slipknot was the first Slipknot. I love the frantic kind of frustration that's in that record. I think on Iowa things get a bit more vile and like vicious, as opposed to like the frustration leaves a little bit on that record for me. But that's one of the things that I loved about their first record, is that they literally sound like a band coming out of nowhere, absolutely frustrated and furious, and it's like manic and psychotic as well, and it's just such a crazy beast of a record. Okay, so then we would have these bits coming down here. Heard the new Tool album, says Al Pacino. New Tool album, yeah, it's a really good listen. I enjoyed it, but I think it's got some huge flaws. Now, would I put... No, I think I would leave this bit like that. Again, it's on my music blog if you want to go read about. What are we going to do right here? I don't know. I think I'll leave it like that just for this moment. But we've created free shop fronts here for free potential shops. Now, the roof of this one would have to be at that level. So if I were to make them all uniform, we could check out what it looks like there on all sides. I think we need to make these bits on this side bigger. Yep, more like that. Hey X, have you heard of Glory Hammer? In chat again. I have not heard of... Well, I might have heard of Glory Hammer. I'm not really big into power metal. However, I've listened to Sabaton recently and loved that. And then I listened to Fairyland, and I couldn't believe just how incredibly like niche that record was to my taste. And now I'm listening to the next Fairyland record, and it is like way more power metal vocals, which I struggle with them. Yeah, power metal has always been like a tricky one for me, but I'm trying to like find my way into it a little bit now. Philip Pop in chat says, yes, Sabaton. X, I disagree with your view on the Billy Elliot album, says Earth Glass Bone. Well, that's absolutely fine, and that does not surprise me in the slightest, because it's an opinion after all. And opinions are pretty much subjective, and everyone's going to look at an album differently. Ooh, big spooky cave. Big spooky cave. I can hear a zombie, but I didn't see one in there, did I? We Ice says, does anyone know what X is building? We are building the basement of the pirate castle. And we're just prepping space for rooms, really, at the moment. We're going to need like a roof design here, so I should clear out all of this space for blocks. Like so. And then maybe a little bit higher space as well. Like maybe this will have some depth to it, who knows. So we'll clear that out. Now we're going to start digging in this way. By the way, where's the zombie car? I should sleep in a bed. I was going to say. By the way, peeps, if you haven't hit the follow button here on Twitch, be sure to do so. Get notified of when I go live here on Twitch. And the title of the stream has a command you can put in chat if you want to check out my second channel on YouTube. Third. I've got a third new channel. It's clips from these streams, so you'll probably like that. If you're here watching, you know, it'll probably appeal to you. Noises in the ear. I'm still trying to catch up with them. Goodness me. Moisty Monsoon is here subscribing, and Tone Block as subscriber of Amazon Prime as well. We've also got noises in the ear. Cheers and bits from Hayley Bailey. Hayley Bailey says, Subway bonus, what are your 3 Desert Island discs? Well, I mean, those Desert Island questions, I'd say it time and time again, I'm the worst at listing my favourite things. Discs? What, are we talking albums? Discs could be a variety of things. If it's albums, I've got to take some dimmable gear with me. Some Rollins Band and probably Metallica. Here's the thing, like, if you could only take 3 records to listen to forever, I'd probably be like, give me 3 new records, because I can listen to the old ones in my head. You know what I mean? Tuxaban says 3 albums you would take. Well, only Hayley Bailey can clarify that. Tomb5634 is subscribing with Amazon Prime. Thanks, burning up there. Thank you ever so much, Tomb, for your resubscription. I appreciate it. Okay, where are we at? Let's chuck some stuff in here. And we got Stringy Cola. Subscribe with Amazon Prime as well. Stringy Cola, thank you. Thank you ever so much. I appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Hayley Bailey says, good plan. Yes, albums. Aha, you did mean albums. Cool. Good to know. Wait, what is... I've confused myself. Roof. The roof is on fire. Now, what we could do is put, like, the wall and have the flag up here. Like, would that look strange? Because I was just thinking about introducing more blocks in here, but then I thought maybe that's not the best strategy. There's some black wool. If not these walls, we could put some andesite up there and create like a polished, sort of fancy looking ceiling. Okay, so let's put the cross in first. Okay, that's going to be kind of tricky. Like spelling Mississippi. There we go. We got Sam of House Joreg resubscribed for 3 months saying, hey X, love the stream. Personally, I'm a fan of rock in general, just not metal. Gonna play Minecraft myself. See ya. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. It sounds like you're heading out, but I appreciate your resubscription there. What I would say is, if you like rock, that's awesome, but like, don't rule anything out. Try and get into some metal as well, you know. Maybe listen to a little bit of Metallica. That's usually a good bridge between the two styles. You know, there's music is to be enjoyed, and there is lots of it. That's why I like getting into lots of different styles. Okay, this kind of looks all right. Ugh. There we go. Okay, so I see the problem there. Bam. So does that look okay? I'm not sure really. It feels like it's okay, it's just missing something. I think maybe the way these blocks here like aren't a block back might be a bit of a problem. Oh, it fell in a hole. What do you think's peep about it, eh? Why do you like metal music, says Yan Yan. Oh, it's a tricky question to answer, because why do we like any music? Because it's music, I guess. And for me, metal music just has a quality to it that's enthralling, that you can't find in other types of music. I say you can't, you can actually, it is in other types of music, but it's just very prevalent in metal. And a lot of the time, the music is music, it's just, when it's played on guitars with distortion, it's like you're giving it like an extra buzz of life, like an extra layer of energy that a lot of other types of instruments just don't convey. But you know, metal isn't always the best for like the most relaxing of music either. There is like ambient metal, but distortion guitars don't work for that. So, you know, that's why we have different types of music, like jazz. The cool kind of chilled out nature of jazz music just doesn't quite translate into metal, you know. That's why it's good to have different types of music. Metal relaxes me a lot though, says Badger. Relaxes me too. For sure. It's a hard one to explain why it's relaxing. I think it's just because it takes negativity and kind of flushes it down the drain, whereas other types of relaxing music tend to indulge you in what is relaxing, as opposed to like confront what is not, and therefore relax. Jazz is chilled out, says Quake Ooze. Yeah, I mean, unless you're going to go listen to some avant-garde kind of freeform jazz, like, for me, like, stuff like Miles Davis, cool jazz, smooth jazz, that kind of stuff, that's just super chilled out. That always mellows me out big time. Like, similar to ambient music in a way. Just sort of take in the vibe. You like jazz? Question mark, says Scruff Yoshi. Yeah, jazz is amazing. Love it. How could you not like jazz? Non-relaxing jazz is not avant-garde, says Hazel Bunny. It was called avant-garde at the time. Might not be called it now. Can't really remember what they call it. There's so many different terms for jazz, it's crazy. Creeper, says Boston. I thought I saw one down here. Maybe not. Right, anyway, what were we doing? Kind of getting a bit pulled about the place here. I think I'm trying to put like a roof on this room, just because we've got a path directly above it. I'm trying to learn about what like land we can rip out here, because we need a wall in this spot. And that's why we didn't place sand over here earlier. Isn't avant-garde a band? I always thought they were, says Goat Unicorn. It might be a band, but avant-garde is a term that describes something that is, like, I guess in essence unusual and or experimental. So it can actually be applied to any kind of genre really. If you say an artist is avant-garde, for example, in a, like, maybe I'm a little bit out of touch with pop music, but Billie Eilish's new record had like elements of it that I would describe as avant-garde and experimental. Just the way she's like manipulating her voice and doing things with that vocally just feels very kind of like unique and different, and that's usually what stuff gets labelled as avant-garde. Apparently I always say a name wrong as well. Yeah, there you go. That's me. Saying names wrong. Who had expected something different? Meatlog says, doing cheers for throwing bits, by the way. Thank you ever so much, Meatlog. I appreciate it. How do you feel about EDM music? Well, EDM is incredibly broad, electronic dance music. There's EBM as well, electronic body music. There's loads of like different branches of electronic music. The current state of like electronic music, that I know what you're talking about, that this sort of general wave of EDM at the moment, not massively exciting to me. Haven't listened to a lot of it, but the earlier stuff, the stuff that led up to it in the 90s, like all your techno, drum and bass, big beat, all that kind of stuff, really, really love it. Like, that stuff's fascinating to me. But this new stuff just haven't really... William Eyelash, says Kofton. Oh, brilliant. Haven't listened. Daft Punk, says another Matt. Yeah, for Daft Punk, for example, like the bands that led up to where it is now are more what interests me than where it currently is. Yeah. What do you think about dubstep music, says Wolf12. I mean, dubstep has really kind of dropped off the radar for me. I was interested in Skrillex when that was first about, and that was kind of a lot of fun at first, but it got kind of tiring quite quick. And now whenever Skrillex comes on my shuffle, I just skip it. That sound really kind of got worn out quickly for me. How do you think music will evolve in the future, says Hardcoded? Well, that's fascinating because, like, when you look at things retroactively, pretty much from, like, even the 30s and 40s up to the 90s, you can kind of, like, quite clearly look at music scenes and delineate who influences who, where things are heading, etc., etc. And then all of a sudden moving into like, not the noughties but the tens really, living in this kind of internet age where now you've got like bands that exist purely online and have built music out of just having access to so much different forms of music. You're seeing this kind of like really kind of like non-grounded to a scene, not localized movements of music that just go international immediately, you know. Audiences are global as opposed to local, and it's hard to sort of see where things are emerging from. And everyone's also got access to all sorts of different music that they didn't have access to before. And so it's going to be quite, I think, genre merging and things like that. Although it's easy to look at it that way now, I think the chances are we're probably just going to come up with different ways of like describing what's going on musically, just because it's going to be so broad yet connected, and it can be so diverse while being unique and individual as well, essentially. So I think it's like, it's probably always been difficult to predict where something is going and say what it will be. But I think what's going to be more difficult is looking back at it and figuring out like, where did this come from? Where did that come from? There's already like, we've already had like an international genre that was like sort of birthed without physical boundaries through vaporwave, which I think, you know, entirely deserves to be described in that way. Makes total sense too. Let's actually lower this bit here. I think that might be interesting. And then you're seeing one artist that always comes to mind when thinking about like where music is at now is Igor, who's this like producer creating this crazy glitched out drum and bass fusion with death metal and black metal, but also all kinds of operatic singing and just music from parts of the world that are very cultural and rooted in the history. The kind of thing you'd expect to hear going on a holiday somewhere. Maybe you're in a restaurant or a bar and someone comes around and starts singing. Like, they infuse all that kind of music, and it's incredibly eclectic and cultural and broad, and it couldn't have really existed without the internet giving that artist access to just such a range of different music, you know. Oh my god, I love Igor, says Manic Best. I tell you what, really impressive live show. If you have the opportunity to see Igor live, couldn't recommend it more. Only seen Igor the once, and I kind of went like not really knowing what to expect, but they had dancers on the stage and it was all very theatric, and it ended up being just a stellar show. Really, really good. Do you follow the UK drum and bass scene, says Black Jesus? Not really. I do like drum and bass from the UK, just I don't exactly have my ground to the ear on that. I've actually like really scaled back the amount of music I'm exploring lately. I always kind of talk about wanting to explore more, but lately I've just been focusing on other things and haven't actually had like my ear to the ground on a lot of new music at all. I'm falling behind. Becoming an old man. Jeez. I'm out of touch with the kids. Have you heard Igor's other band, OXXOXOOX? Manic Best? I have not. Tweet it at me and I'll check it out later. Shade Empire Amiga Arcane is the album in the same quality. Shade Empire Amiga Arcane. I mean, if you say Dimmu Borgir and then point me in a direction of another band, I will go. I will go. I feel like we should actually put like maybe a bit of a floor pattern down here, because it feels like a bit of a crossing, like a courtyard or something. Let's actually give that a shot. Something with polished andesite, you know, nice and slick looking. Maybe just a simple square pattern. Who that boy who he is, says Rover Floats. I love that song. That's a great song. We've got a noise in the ear from Meatlog doing cheers for own bits, saying Sullivan's King Mix, metal and the electronic feel. Sullivan's King Mix, is that like a thing? Meatlog, I appreciate the cheers and the bits. Hope you're enjoying the stream. We got Tapsu 10 and Vipoli subscribing with Amazon Prime. Thank you ever so much for the Prime subscriptions, Freeps. I appreciate it. Magic Master Carp says, do you know Peter Gabriel? I find his music very stress relieving. Yeah, of course I know Peter Gabriel. Love his music. From Genesis. I like some of his solo stuff as well. My favourite album being So. There we go. Maybe we can use some of this light grey wool mixed with polished andesite on the ground. Let's try that. Let's give that a try. I was thinking of doing the squares in groups of 4, but then we would need something split down the middle. Maybe we could just put a cross here in the middle. And then that would give us... I guess if we find like another something, we could do this. That's not a bad idea. Kind of looking alright. We do need light sources in here. I haven't really thought about that, have I? I think I'm going to have to hang some lanterns. Oh my goodness me, look at this mess of an inventory. That kind of looks alright. I know it means that we don't have like proper lighting down here though. Maybe we could put lighting underneath some carpet. This could actually be carpet, couldn't it? Anyway, let's find out the other block. Slabs says arc shrub. Depends which type. That type might look good. There we go. Clear out some space that way. Yeah, that probably makes the most sense, doesn't it? Cool. I like this. This is a good little spot we're building. Have you ever listened to the Interstellar soundtrack, says Zombator? Well, I've watched the movie, so in theory I have, right? I hear a skeleton. Clinking its bones at me. Clinking away. Even though I can hear it, I can still sleep in a bed. Bobashon says, what would you do with $1 million? It's a good question. Probably put it in the bank. To be quite fair. I was thinking about this the other day, like, I don't know what it was I was listening to, but it was this whole thing about, like, winning the lottery and how it doesn't affect people's happiness. And I kind of realised that not much would change if I were to win the lottery. Like, obviously it would de-stress you and don't have to worry about this and that in terms of money. But I wouldn't want to give up what I'm doing on YouTube. And that's a big part of my life, and I guess what I'd probably do with it is put it in the bank, and then the interest that you get from it could facilitate like going on holidays more frequently, things like that. I'd buy my family some houses and live normally, says Badger Spanner. That's the thing you got to realise though, is $1 million is not a lot. Like, yeah, you could buy a couple of houses with it. I guess if you live up north, houses are cheaper, so maybe you could buy a few. But like $1 million, like the average person earns well over $1 million in their lifetime. So I don't know what it is. And let's do a little rough calculation, right? Like, let's say you earn... what is... I don't know what minimum wage adds up to per year, but let's say you earn 50 grand a year, right? I've actually got the calculator out. You're going to be working from, let's say, 18, but we'll round it up to 20. So 20... Isn't the retirement age like near 70 now? So you're going to be working 50 to 40 years of your life. Let's multiply it by 40. That's 2 million. So whereas you might think of, all right, 15k, I'm way off then. Minimum wage should be about 20k a year. Let's half it. It's $1 million, right? Let's say. Oh, you got to pay income tax as well. Oh, well, maybe I got it completely wrong. Well, like, okay, so let's actually tone down these numbers, because it'll still, what the point I'm trying to make still kind of makes sense. Let's say it's 25 a year, right? multiply that by, what did we say, 40? We'll go with 40 years. That's $1 million. So, not minimum wage, but, you know, above minimum wage, somewhere around there, average working wage, who knows what it is, but you're going to come close to $1 million in your lifetime if you're working constantly. I guess you're not always going to be employed either. I don't know how to factor this, okay, peeps? Some people earn above minimum wage, some people earn below. But there's going to be a portion of people, a large portion, that will probably earn $1 million or close to over the span of their working lifetime, right? So to win $1 million in one go may make you think of retirement and stuff, but it's going to be easy to spend that $1 million thinking, you know, like, oh, I'll buy myself a Lamborghini and a house, and all of a sudden it's all gone. And now you've got upkeep to deal with, right? So, having that kind of money thrown at you in one go doesn't necessarily mean you're never going to work again. That kind of thing, I guess, is the point that I'm making. So, I would look at that kind of money more as like, put it in an investment fund of some form, and then the income that you get from that per month, you know, you still work, it's just more, you got more income per month. Then you manage that income, put it aside, save it for a rainy day, and then you'll be able to afford more holidays or more little things that you need here and there. That's the way that I would manage it. So to me, like, if I won $1 million, I don't think it really changed much, because I've already got myself to a point where I'm fortunate enough to have found, like, I call this work, but I just love doing it every day, right? Like, it's brilliant making videos and playing Minecraft and entertaining all of y'all. So that wouldn't change. Maybe I'd move house, but I think the smart thing would be is just to put it away and take the money that you get each month from it in interest and use that to facilitate the things that you want to do, like go on holiday and whatnot. Anyway, there you go. Wait, someone's just asking, what would you do if you won $1? If I won $1, I'd probably buy an ice cream. There you go. So that doesn't mean I'd buy 1 million ice creams if I won 1 million. Jeez. Eddie505 is here with a donation saying, hello, first time catching the stream. Love Hermitcraft. Also a question, is there anything I can do with the really low rate on a server? I don't understand, Eddie. If you want to elaborate on your question in chat, I will hopefully catch it and be able to answer. Thank you so much for the donation, the contribution to the channel. I do appreciate that. Also a question, is there anything I can do with the really low rate on the server? I don't know what you mean by that. Low rate on the server? Do you mean in a mob farm? I'm looking out for Eddie in chat anyway. Wait, did I just see tick rate? TPS? Yeah, it could be tick rate, it could be mob farm. Tick rate is going to be linked to all the things going on in the world. Mobs, AI, them pathfinding, all that kind of stuff. So you need to like identify what's happening in your world and where you maybe need to turn off certain types of farm, what's in your spawn chunks. Turning down the render distance on a server can help with that. Less chunks being loaded can less things for it to process. As for a mob farm, it's the principles of where are you AFK, what's loaded around you, are there caves, light up the caves. You know, a mob farm can also be poorly designed as well. It's not a case of just a mob farm means it's going to work well. Different mob farm designs affect rates and whatnot. Eddie says mob farm spawn rates. Ah, okay. So, around the player, there is an invisible sphere where things will spawn. So you need to optimize that sphere. That's why I said lighting up cages. If you're up in the sky, then you're not loading caves, so you don't have to do that. But building a mob farm up in the sky means that it goes slow. If you're playing on a server and other people are in the world, the areas that they load require the same type of conditioning. This can make it particularly difficult because if lots of other people log in and their caves aren't lit up, then it's a bit of a tough luck situation. You're just not going to get the rates that you're looking for. Is basically it. I'm trying to think of what other advice there is. A well-designed mob farm usually is the principle of how quickly from a mob spawning to it being killed does it take, having lots of spawn spaces available? Stuff like that. Hopefully that's helpful to you. Badger Spanner is here with some cheers and bits, saying, this ice cream is worth more than $1. Depends what ice cream you're talking about. To be fair, here in the UK, I don't think I've brought an ice cream that's under £1 in a very long time. I had a Twister the other day. Now, a Twister was one of my favourite lollies from a kid, and now when I look at lolly, I'm like, 300 calories. Like a Magnum is like 300 calories. But then I found this watermelon lolly that was 61, and I went, 61 calories? My goodness me, that's not a bad treat to have, you know. Sure, it's not nutritious, it's not exactly healthy in that respect, but it's not going to load you up with loads of calories, so I figured, hey, I like it, it's tasty, I'll have that. Then I had a Twister, and I went to look at the calories expecting a couple hundred, and it's like 78 or something, and I was like, well, that's good. Twisters are awesome. And I think what it is, it's the lolly versus the ice cream. Once you start having the ice cream, that's where the calories go up, I think. And oh, what was the other thing? Let's pick that up. So what did we do in this area, by the way? Like, I think we did a lot. It just doesn't look like a lot. We prepped ourselves. Hey, I wonder if we could use this space and link it up to something over there. I'm getting so distracted. What have we done? Trying to recap. We've built a little courtyard for more shops. We'll do some detail work in one of the future streams for sure. Tell me Twisters have shrunk. It's not my imagination, says Tuxaban. They have shrunk, and there is a term for that. It is called shrinkflation. Shrinkflation is how slowly over time products will slowly reduce the size of their quantities, but the prices will stay the same or go up. Which is just capitalism for you, squeezing those pennies. Got to make more profits every year, right? Not good enough to make, you know, 100 million next one year and only 99 the year after. That'd be a complete disaster, peeps. Always got to be making more profits. RIP Giant Tins of Quality Street, says Badger. Yeah, they've probably shrinkflated as well, haven't they? Winnie, thanks for a reminder. I don't know when I'll get around to that. Probably sometime next week. Very busy at the moment. I think I might have an opportunity to take advantage of a lack of hermits today. It's Sunday. Sometimes Sundays are busy, sometimes not. Let's go to a portal. Right, I know mentally where I'm going now. I just had to remind myself. Capitalism sucks, says Leniad. From your capitalist device? How did you write that message? With a capitalist keyboard? Okay. Did you buy that keyboard? Was it part of your phone or your computer? Oh, hypocrite. Absolute hypocrite. Oh. Oof, got him, says Jasper. Denying science, are you? From your smartphone? That's not right. What do you mean the Earth is flat? You're telling me that for a message sent over the GPS system, are you? Jeez, I don't know. Want to deny vaccinations when you're free from all the horrors of the diseases they prevent? Go on, deny it while you're in a bed dying of some horrible disease that we eradicated through vaccinations. Peeps. Let science do the... No, I was going to say something silly then. No. I've gone far enough. I've gone far enough. Oh, wait. And I need that. Yeah, duh. Okay, there we go. I better not get a wandering trader over here. The wandering trader breaks this farm every single time. Right. Let science do the thinking, says Never Hurricane. That wasn't what I was going to say. I hadn't really thought where the rest of that sentence was going. It's something along the lines of like... So, let's put it like this. Do I believe that the Earth is a sphere? A spheroid, or whatever the correct name for the shape is, right? Is it round? Is it not flat? I don't believe that it is, the science tells us that it is. That is the best way, I think, to articulate what science is and what its purpose is. It is to take us out of the equation. For us to not be inhibited by our own perceptions and by our own biases and by our own flaws of what we think the world is. We can look at the world and go, it kind of looks flat, doesn't it? Someone might go, no, look, there's hills over there, it's bumpy. The world is bumpy. I'm going to start a movement against the flat earth movement, and I'm going to start the bumpy earth movement, okay? It's all about the earth is flat, but it's also bumpy, and it's definitely not a sphere. In fact, I might start a movement saying that it's an inverted sphere. Nah, I'm just messing with you. Anyway, that's what science is supposed to do, right? It's supposed to take our flaws out of the equation. It's supposed to be recreatable. And so we're living in an age incredibly enhanced and indulged by the benefits of science. Yet here we are, you know, like we've got people saying, no, the earth is flat on their computer, making videos with the technology of science. They're using science to say science is wrong. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. You can't cherry pick science. You can't say, I agree with this bit, but not that bit. It's either all or nothing. Tiny Small 69 is here, resubscribing for 27 months, saying, I never know that I could message in here. Well, now you learn. Thank you ever so much for 27 months of support, Tiny Small. We also got a donation from eTuckZ saying, hello X, what is your opinion on the rapper XXXTentacion? In my opinion, I think you two are alike, looking at your values and morals in life. Really? Didn't that guy like get in a lot of trouble? I don't know. I don't know because I haven't listened to him. I have a little bit. To me, I don't want to be disrespectful saying this, but I feel like his death has sort of elevated his status, whereas I didn't really get drawn into his sound at all. But I haven't spent a lot of time checking him out, and I might get around to it one day. Didn't he shoot someone, says Beepo the Great Puppet? That's what I thought. I think I heard he was involved in like beating people as well. And yeah, that ain't like me. Is the redstone clock on? It's always on. And evidence of the farm working. Evidence of it working. Well, science is wrong many times. Science is not an absolute, and things get corrected many times when we have better equipment and learn more, says Likely Finn. Yeah, of course, yeah. But that shouldn't be an argument against science. That is just acknowledging that science is a process that gets more and more accurate and more beneficial with time, right? Yeah. But, you know, look at what it leads to. Look at what that process gives us. Anyway, this is where we're wrapping the stream up, peeps. I hope you've been entertained. I hope you've enjoyed hanging out with me today. Be sure to hit the follow button before you head out of here. Go check out the new channel, as Suma says. Hit follow over there. I'm going to go pick a Minecraft channel to raid. Actually, I got one immediately. Immediately, I got one to raid. Peeps, we're going to raid Unwoven Rainbow. And you've got to go over there and hit follow button. Playing on LPMT. Yeah, so hit the raid button in chat. Massive thank you to everyone who subscribed, resubscribed, donated and cheered. Thank you to all of my patrons. I'll be seeing you soon with another stream on Tuesday most likely. And yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Bye bye.